Glaives are broken OP, and I don't expect them to ship in this state during the final release. Glaives are still broken, so not only can you fire them off like machine guns, right? And you can do this on the move. You can also do this with secondary, though it's a little harder to do. As you can see, it is possible to do. Right? Not only can you still do that, I don't know if you guys remember the bug that made it so the glaive circled around you and never came back. Yeah, that bug has returned, though it's not very easy to reproduce. And in fact, the way I've even stumbled upon it was by doing the machine gun glitch, and all you have to do for that glitch is throw the glaive, return it, and then when the cursor becomes a bracket, you just spam E. And that's how you do the machine gun glitch, basically. Its animations are a tad wonky with certain Warframes like Wisp that kind of just holds it like a shield. As you can see, it's just clipping straight through her arm. So yeah, glaives are definitely still broken, but they're broken in both ways. So for example, let me show you that machine gun thing I was talking about against the heavy gunners again. Right, albeit glaives don't have the greatest range. They have like a 1.5 like some meter base range. So if the glaives had more range, like, because even with primed reach, this is not that, obviously not that practical. But these are just light. These are light attacks. It's doing that much damage. But that's just the unintended side. It gets even better than this, right? It gets much stronger than this. So let's take a look at our glaive build, and for the most part, you build glaives like you do heavy attacks almost. If you have any elements on your glaive, get rid of them. You don't need them at all. But basically, you build them like heavy attacks. So you got crit chance, you crit damage. You have power throw, which increases throw damage by 100%. And it says it stacks up to 3 times, but it stacks up to punch through. But you're really using this for the throw damage. The punch through is nice, and that's why I was so against using volatile quick return, which makes the explosion bigger on heavy attacks, and it also makes your light attacks explode. But it's just, after using both this and the regular quick return, if you're going to try and like compete with other sort of melee weapons with their very, very fast, crazy ad clear, then you're gonna want to use this. It's cool that you can hit enemies multiple times in the head with the regular quick return, right? But this is gonna be overall just better for ad clear. And that's what melee weapons excel at. Of course, we also have Corrupt Charge and Killing Blow for more heavy attack damage. And we have our Bane, which adds a lot of damage. So we're going to bring out some Exo Gokside officers because they're Grineer, and that will work with my Bane. But basically, you throw it out, hit the heavy attack button, and there's the big explosion that does 34,000 damage. Right? And it hits in a massive AoE. Right, and if you hit them, you hit the explosion in the head, it's going to do a lot more damage. But yeah, that's the intended way glaives are meant to be used. So glaives as melee weapons are a tad more practical now. Oh, by the way, if you want to use a heavy attack while dual wielding, instead of pressing the heavy attack button, you have to press E again, which is the same button used to return the glaive. Right, you can actually return the glaive now. You can force return it. You don't have to wait. That's a thing that exists, right? And it's basically like it hits a massive AoE with heavy attacks. But since it is an explosion, it also does do self stagger. Oh, I'm in the wrong mode. And it actually does self stagger from quite a far way away. I made a habit of jumping to try and barely avoid the self stagger, but you can get self-stagger from so far away with this thing. Also, if you're in a very, very laggy party, glaives are basically unusable because the glaive will actually just go faster than its animation, and it's nearly impossible to get a heavy attack off. Also, for whatever reason, with the explosion that glaives produce, that explosion will just automatically hit Banshee's sonar for some reason. And again, this is the intended way to use glaives. That's the intended use of glaives. So not only are glaives broken, as in broken borked, they're also broken OP. That it makes no sense why the explosion automatically hits Banshee sonar. Now earlier I was really struggling to figure out if glaives were really practical in an everyday sort of scenario, And can they really compete with the best of melee weapons, which are melee weapons are kind of just the best ad clear in the game? I felt that they weren't practical. As soon as I swapped quick return for volatile quick return, then I felt that, yeah, these are practical. You could use these every day. It's just you're gonna get self-staggered a lot. But let me just show you what it looks like, with regular quick return, just to show you what I was, seeing. Right, so against those Gox head officers again, right? Right, the blast rate isn't huge. The damage is largely the same. So even though I'm doing, same amount of damage, just taking more time to get rid of these ads, because the explosion is tiny, but it doesn't self-stagger you at all, really. I can barely hit that center because it's just really hard to know like when you want to time the heavy attack perfectly, to make sure it gets over their head and gets you some extra damage, right? And there's also the whole the perfect timing throw, which again it's still in the game. It's just really hard to do. But anyway, guys, that's all for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.